Three signs that your soul is thirsty for God. Three signs that what is lacking in your life is more of God's presence. Pay attention because I will tell you a way to self-diagnose, for you to have a self-diagnostic in regards to your spiritual condition. When we go to the doctors raise a lot of questions about us, and we learn on how to perceive that there's something wrong with our health. If your urine is too yellow, you're dehydrated, you have to drink more water, and things like that. So I'm gonna give you three symptoms that your soul is thirsty for God. I don't speak about religion, I speak about the presence of God regardless of the religion and the one that you confess. Either you have it or not, it doesn't matter. Let's go. First sign, absence of peace. When the person is empty of God, they understand that there's no peace in their life. They can even have on the outside many things that are positive, like a good job, family, everything going well, but inside of them they don't feel peace. For some reason, they are uneasy. They are the kind of person that they cannot sleep at peace. There's no environment to breathe and say, I'm okay. They don't know what, neither why, they simply don't have peace. And they keep on trying to run away from themselves, from this moment of no peace, especially when they are alone. They perceive that they're not to focus on the job or something else, and they understand that it's a me time. So what do? They fill their schedule with things for them to not stop and think much about that. So there's an absence of peace. Because the presence of God is characterized by inner peace. When we have the presence of God in us, the war can be breaking loose on the outside, however, inside we are at peace. As the psalmist said, I will both lie down in peace and sleep. He was a man of war. He was a man who had many enemies with battles, but because of the Spirit, the presence of God who was with him, he would both lie down in peace and sleep, which is not the case of someone who their soul is thirsty for God. This is the first symptom. The second symptom, if the first is absence of peace, the second is presence of hatred, anger, revengeful feelings, grudges against other people. The presence of hatred is one of the main signs of the absence of God. It's obvious. If the presence of God brings us understanding towards our neighbor, good eyes, if the presence of God makes us to love the neighbor, to desire well to the neighbor, the absence of God produces the opposite. The absence of God makes the heart of the person to become like a magnet for hatred and evil things. For example, you start to hate people, to nourish feelings of hatred, revenge, desiring evil. Sometimes you catch yourself doing good. Maybe you don't do it, but in your mind you keep on nourishing feelings, thoughts on desiring evil towards others. And you were not like that before. But you realize that more and more you are becoming a cold person who does not think on the consequences, someone who does not care about the others. Why? Because of so much injustice that we see in the world, evil that we see in the world. And for sure, always there was injustice and evil, but for some reason, you realize that this feeling of hatred and revenge is growing within you. It's like if you could do justice with this feeling of hatred. And that's what many people do out there. It comes a time that this is poured out and they take a gun, kill innocent people. People have nothing to do with the situation that they faced, and they want to make justice with their own hands. And you will cause more injustice and more pain. So if you realize that your heart is filled with hatred, you're always angry, replying with sharp responses, aggressive ones, you mistreat your children, spouse, your parents, you even mistreat an animal who is innocent. You realize that your heart is being filled with this feeling of hatred, anger, of revenge. This is one of the main symptoms of a soul that is thirsty, that you are really in need of God in your life. For real. Okay? This is the second symptom. The first, absence of peace. Second, presence of hatred, grudges. And the third symptom, that your soul is thirsty for God, is the turmoil in your thoughts, turmoil in your mind. It comes a time that you say, I don't know what I know. I don't know anything anymore. I don't understand anything anymore. All your convictions, all that you thought, and you were convicted about it before, a few years ago in your life, now you're not really sure about that. You don't know if you love your wife, your husband. You don't know if you want to be where you are, living where you are anymore. Sometimes you feel like moving somewhere else, or to stay where you are, or to disappear, or to stay where you are. Time to time you think about your family. Sometimes you want to leave, others you want to die. You have a thirst for answers, but all the answers you receive, and you are searching for answers in religions, in books, you search for answers on the wise ones of this world. You search to find what people are speaking about in this world. You go to the psychologist, the therapist, you search for answers, you search for them, but all the answers you receive, they don't satisfy, they don't bring a return, an answer that really answers your desires. Take away this turmoil that is within yourself. When God is with us, it's not that He gives us all the answers. If we knew all things, our head would explode. We wouldn't have capacity to have answer for everything in this world. Jesus once said to the disciples, I have many things to tell you, but now you cannot bear them. There's a lot of things that God would like to reveal it to us, but He doesn't, to protect us. Just like the husband comes at home and sometimes the woman says, how was your day? And he had a terrible day. And he tells her, it was good, my love. He says that was all good, not because he was lying, trying to deceive her. He says that all was good to protect her. Protect her from what he's carrying, bearing it alone. Because He loves her, He wants to protect her. Like this is God, who protects us of many things. That's why He does not give us all at once. Because if He did, we wouldn't have the capacity to bear all of that. It's not that God does not give us all the answers, but He helps us with the answers that He gives us. It's different. Sometimes we don't know how. For example, when you were a child, you might remember that at some point your parents told you, a child, today you don't understand, but one day you will. And you heard that, okay, dad, mom, okay. You wanted to know more, but the parent could not give that at the moment. So it's like your father is telling you, don't worry, one day you will understand. That was enough. Because your father passed on to you that assurance. No, my parents know what they're talking about. So that was enough. It was not the answer that you wanted, but was an answer that helped you, that brought peace to you. And like this is when we have the presence of God in us. We don't have all the answers, but we have the answer that bring us peace and help us. So maybe, of course, these are not all the symptoms, I just gave you 3. Maybe you understanding one of these symptoms in your life. Now you have a way to say, indeed, my life is thirsty for God. All that I need is not one more medication. I don't need to go to my doctor and change the medication. What I need is to seek for the presence of God. That's what I need. Because I have too much confusion in my thoughts and mind. Nothing satisfies me. I have such a great hatred. I have these grudges in my heart. My heart is like a sponge absorbing evil feelings, and I have not been having peace. So if that is your case, you need urgently to seek for the presence of God. Do this for you, for your soul, before it's too late.
Did you like this? Would you like to hear it again? Listen to it as many times as you need until this content becomes part of you. Don't forget to leave your like, comment, and share. See you next time.